Here, let's talk about the games happened on 28th. We had a handful of games. The first game is the Orlando Magic losing to the Bucks. No surprise there. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 5 fouls in just 30 minutes. Easy work for him. 28 points, 6 and 6. And Chris Middleton has been all right. I mean, this season he hasn't. I haven't seen him really had a game where you go, wow. You know, last 2 weeks he's a 90th ranked on the season, 77. To me, he should be a top 50 player because he's very efficient. He can hit threes, free throws, and points. 18 points, that sounds about right. Could be higher. 2.2 threes, that's a little low for him, and mainly 42%. He's a top 50 player. I feel like I just haven't really talked about him much. If you can trade like a Tyrese Maxey for Chris Middleton, I would do it. If you can trade a Wendell Carter Jr. for Chris Middleton, obviously they bring different stats. But to me, he's always been a top 50 player just because his efficiency. Always being a very efficient guy. Bobby Portis, last game he played off the bench. This game he started, and now Cousins is so that's great. 20 he should be getting 28 to 30 minutes a night. 19 points, 7 rebounds, and assists with the block. With really great efficiency, but this game they did play the Magic, so any stat they put up doesn't really mean much. Drew Holiday, he's been back last 2 weeks. He's been good. A lot of defensive stats, a lot of assists, 10 assists here and a steal, 18 points. Good stuff. Drew Holiday, the main thing with him is his efficiency issues, but the counting stats, the defensive stats are all there. Pat Connaughton, I think we could outdrop him. Just 22 minutes now. Grayson Allen get 23, and then some of the minutes went to Dante DiVincenzo. So it's everybody gets a little. Without Dante DiVincenzo, those 7-8 minutes extra could go to Pat Connaughton. But now it's gone. We could just drop him everywhere. For the Orlando Magic, everybody's out. So Franz Wagner has to take. He's the first option now for sure with Cole Anthony, and I don't know when Markel Fultz and Jonathan Isaac. Well, we don't know when Jonathan Isaac is coming back. Markel Fultz, she should be close, and then we also have Jalen Suggs out. Hassani, this point guard started, played 18 minutes. Let's not worry about him at the moment. For the Magic, Garrett Harris could be a stream. Robin Lopez could be a stream, but Mamba should be close. So in the short term, Wendell Carter Jr. and Franz Wagner, they're gonna have some huge usage. Try to sell them if you can. This game really looked really pretty for Franz Wagner. Do a 2-for-1 to see you can get a Chris Middleton. Wendell Carter Jr. also, he does have some efficiency issues, and he doesn't really block shots as a big man. He grabs a lot of rebounds and hits some threes. To me, he's like a top 80, 90 guy. So if you can do a 2-for-1 to get a top 50, 60, that will be a big win. RJ Hampton, also we could look at him to stream. Play 28 minutes. But Magic don't have a schedule this week. Depending on what their schedule looks like next week, we could maybe do some things. The next game, the Washington Wizards lost to the Miami Heat, 112-119. This game, on both sides, all the guys were out. Bradley Beal was questionable coming in, and the news came out that he took the vaccine, so that's great. You don't have to. The DC government implemented all players to be vaccinated to play, so we won't have another Kyrie Irving situation. He's not as I think he said it before. Like when it comes to it, I'm just gonna do the vaccine. So he should be close. Spencer Dinwiddie without Bradley Beal, he needs to be rostered, but Beal could come back next game, and I think we should try to sell Beal high. 42 minutes, 11 assists, 24 points, still no defensive stats, hit for threes. Let's try to sell him. Corey Kispert had 30. KCP is still out, so Danny Advia, Kispert, those are two guys we could potentially stream. But again, I don't think Wizards have a good schedule this week, so we could move on from both of them. But you could stream I think they still have two more games this week. Kyle Kuzma, just so inefficient, and he does provide some nice rebound, um, some scoring. Everything else is pretty much negative. So it depends what you need on your team. If your team love those threes, those points, those rebounds, sure. But if you're pounding any of those threes, yeah, don't worry about it. And the value he's providing is pretty minimal anyways. But again, like rebounds and points, those two combinations are pretty hard to find on the waiver wire. It's easier to find a guy that, for example, if you're in category leagues, you can find guys that with points and threes, right? 12, 13 points. I mean, not crazy number of points. 12, 13 points and 2.5 threes. What was some easy combination like assists, steals? Some point guards could give you that. But weird combinations like I don't think a guy in the NBA give you good blocks and assists at the same time, right? Those are really hard to find on the waiver wire. Same thing with points and points and assists, points and the rebounds. Those combinations usually they're not very easy to find on the waiver wire. That's why Kyle Kuzma might be good guy to have in certain builds, depending on your team build. Let's look at the Miami Heat. I mean, it's the same thing. Everybody is out. Well, Jimmy Butler came back and he hurt his ankle. He said he's gonna be fine, but I think he's gonna miss a game or two. The guy just gets weight because the way he plays, he hustles on the court. He's throwing his body around. I mean, it's been how many years now? He gets hurt every single year. So, he comes back. Right now, he's per game basis, he's a monster, just like LeBron this year. LeBron after this game, LeBron also had a great game. LeBron is third, Jimmy Butler is fifth. You can't trade Jimmy Butler for LaMelo, James Harden, Karl Anthony Towns. Very easy trades. Those are the trades I think I would do. They obviously are very a bit different. Jimmy Butler doesn't provide any threes, but provide way more steals than the rest of them. Well, LaMelo Ball also gets 2 steals a game. But he's way more efficient. He's actually shooting 50% from the field, way up from last year. And with Kyle Lowry out, you'd expect him to get a lot more assists as well. Obviously, he's going to have a huge week with Kyle Lowry out, but who knows? He might miss a game or two. Ankle. If I own Jimmy Butler, I want him to sit out for a few games because if he plays next game, which is either today or tomorrow. I think the Miami Heat have 3 more games, so I think they have I don't know if the back to back is today. Let me just check. Yeah, they have the back to back is yesterday and today. So if he gets hurt again, it will be bad. So just sit it out. Rest for a few games. Omer, this young rookie came in, played 33 minutes, 10 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals. With everybody out, he's a must roster. But we know the value will be gone once Bam comes back. Could still be like a month away or 3 weeks away. Well, we don't know. So he's a must roster. Caleb Martin is also a guy that we could, stream. Kyle Lowry is also out, so we could grab him. He's a guy just like his brother, can do a bit of everything. Duncan Robinson hit his threes, 8 threes, 26 points, and nothing else. And Gabe Vincent too. He's also a very good stream. Max Strauss was also doing pretty well, but he also got placed into the COVID protocol. So Gabe Vincent, Omer, Caleb Martin, these 3 guys need to be picked up and streamed, unless you can find somebody better on the waiver wire. In certain situations, so you obviously could, but they're all solid enough. And Tyler Hero went off 32 points, and he should be going off. With everybody, Jimmy Butler misses games, he should be have a monster week. But again, the thing with him is he just provides the threes and the points and nothing else. Some rebound and a little bit assist. Not the best fantasy player in points leagues, but in category leagues, in points leagues, he could be better. The next game is the Philadelphia Sixers beat the Toronto Raptors 114-109. Well. What else is new? Every team's got dealing with a lot of guys out. For the Sixers, Danny Green is out. I think this is the only starter. They have most of their starters. Matisse Thybulle with Danny Green out in the short term, he should get a bump in minutes. I would try to look to sell him, because he won't be getting 35 minutes. Well, too bad this game he didn't really do much. But if he got like 3 steals and 3 blocks, it'll be a good time to sell him. Tobias Harris struggled shooting the ball, but went to free throw like 14 times. The Raptors couldn't stop fouling Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. So he ended up with a pretty good line, just a bad field goal. 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, and a block. You don't see that very often, but great game from him. Joel Embiid continues to be a monster. On the season, right, like before he got COVID, he was like the 60 or 7. Now he's a 6-man player on a per game basis, so no worries. Per game basis-wise, he's very, very solid. And, he played 23 games. That's great. That's great. And I think he's been fairly healthy lately. Seth Curry, the minutes is there, but other than points and threes, he doesn't really provide a lot else. Usually does it with good efficiency. Tyrese Maxey played 36 minutes, 5 points, assists, and 2. I mean, he's a buy low. You don't drop him. But really, I look at him as a, the guy, like, he was like in the top 40s at one point. To me, he's like a 90 to 100 guy. So if you can, I don't know if you even want to go buy low on him, because what's the point? If you give him a top 100 player, if you trade him Franz Wagner for Tyrese Maxey, right? They might have similar values in the end. But you don't drop him. But the problem with him is, I think we all know at this point, is in category leagues, he doesn't get a lot of defensive stats. A lot of his value coming from his efficiency and his low turnovers. He still didn't turn the ball over a lot this game, so he takes care of the ball. But counting stat-wise, he give you some points, right? A little bit assist, but that's it. A lot of his value coming from his efficiencies. And the Sixers bench guys, let's not worry about them. For the Toronto Raptors, Yuta Watanabe, no defensive stats this game. Had 5 fouls, 32 minutes. I mean, his time is almost over. Guys just start coming back. OG might be back next game. We have Scotty Bombs. Guys start coming back. So we can move on from him. After this game, you can drop him and pick up somebody else. Pascal Siakam, 28-8. Great stuff. Top 50 player, like I said. 41 points. Yeah, Nick Nurse. This is one good thing playing on the Raptors is that Nick Nurse is going to give you high minutes if you're a starter, and you get a lot of defensive stats because of the defensive system, I suppose. Because I look at Gary Trent Jr., who was averaged 0.8 steals last year. Coming, obviously the minutes are also up, but coming at average 2 steals. That's great stuff from Gary Trent as well. I believe both guys, this is the first game back for both guys, and they all put up a pretty good stats. Efficiency-wise, an issue. Gary Trent took 24 shots. Chris Boucher, 38 minutes, huge minutes too. Obviously a sell high. I think we all know that once all guys start coming back. But there's a small chance, who knows? He might be in the starting lineup playing 25 minutes or coming off the bench. We just don't know. Nick Nurse obviously is not a big fan of Chris Boucher, even last year. I think we all know that at this point. If there's a coaching change, who knows? He might be getting 25, 30 minutes. But Nick Nurse is there to try to sell him high. Malachi Flynn also started. But, guys are going to start coming back. Like a Fred VanVleet should be close. Then his value will come. Let's look at the next game, the LA Lakers. AD is going to be out for another month or so. Malik Monk, I think he needs to be picked up in the short term. He could lose his value could just lose his value next game. We don't know. Other than LeBron and Russell Westbrook, everybody's minutes going to be up and down. So let's pick him up now, because since coming back from COVID, he's been playing well. 40 minutes, 25 points, a steal and 2 blocks, 8 for 8. A really good game. But this game was against the Rockets. So I don't know how much that means. If they play a good defensive team, they won't be scoring 132 points. If they only score 100 points, then, he won't be getting those easy shots. Stanley Johnson, he's just starting. Lakers, they got so many players that I wasn't aware of. He just came out of nowhere, and now he's playing 30 minutes. They're just trying out every options now. we could. I don't think we want to stream him because when you play with LeBron and Russell Westbrook, unless you can get a bunch of defensive stats, and you're a great 3-point shooter, like you're not gonna be that valuable. You're not gonna put up crazy good fantasy numbers. LeBron James starting at the center this game actually. Interesting. 40 minutes. LeBron is defying the age. He's the third ranked player this season, and he's playing 38 minutes a night. Sorry, 37 minutes a night. I don't think anybody saw it coming. He was mostly taking the end of second round or early third, even mid third round, because last year he had such a bad year. And he was always injured the last couple of seasons. But this year, he could still be hurt. We don't know. But whenever he plays, he's putting up huge numbers. Last year, the effort wasn't there. The defensive stats was not there. The scoring was also done. Last year, his assist was there, but everything else was not. This year, the assist is still all right. I mean, with Russell Westbrook, 6.7, but still great. 11 triple-double here, still, If LeBron is playing this season, he's very, very solid. The worry is that he's old and he's playing huge minutes. Once we get to the second half, is he gonna have gas in his tank? Maybe he will. We don't know. Avery Bradley, 30 minutes, 14 points. Yeah, not really interested. Like, if you play on the Lakers, just don't expect to get good fantasy numbers unless you are just a defensive specialist. I think Russell Westbrook also a great game, but had 7 turnovers, 2 for 6 from the free throw line. It's nothing new with Russ. You gotta pound some of those categories. You just have to. Taylor Horton Tucker had 5 fouls, played 21 minutes. Guy just, I don't know. They had an opportunity to trade him, to get Kyle Lowry, to get, I don't know, a bunch of other players. Lakers said no. Okay, and he's just been bad. Maybe he's trying too hard. I don't know what it is with him. Yeah. So let's not worry about him. Just drop him in fantasy. Maybe he'll turn it around at some point, but not right now. Carmelo Anthony, 27 minutes. Melo has been pretty solid. I think with AD out, he could be a good stream if you need points and some. Surprisingly, like, he's been getting some defensive stats. Some steals and blocks. Crazy, and he hits a lot of threes as well. So he could be a good stream in the coming weeks until AD comes back. For the Houston Rockets, wow, would you look at that? We have Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green both coming back. Well, Jalen Green played a game last week. Both played really well, but something to pay attention to is they did play the Lakers, one of the worst teams defensively in the NBA. So it's expected to put up some nice numbers. But we'll see. Kevin Porter Jr. is great. The assist is great. I think just like Russell Westbrook, if you got Russell Westbrook, you got to go grab Kevin Porter Jr. Stack 2 of them together is great. Maybe he had 5 fouls too. Maybe he'll turn around. Jalen Green too. But after this game, if you can try to sell them, right? Sell them do a 2-for-1 to get a top 50, 60 player. This is something I'll be looking to do. But don't sell them to a team with great efficiency, because they will be like, why would I need them on my team to hurt me? Right? Try to sell them to a team that's actually pounding field goals and turnovers. See how they like it. They're going to be up and down for sure. Christian Wood, great game. Versus the Lakers, LeBron was in the center, so it's only took 12 shots, I think. 3 for 6. He's just a bad free throw shooter. A couple years ago, he was decent. Last year, this year, not so much. 3 steals and a block is also good. But what has been disappointing this season, I think we all know at this point, the only thing that he provides pretty consistently is the points and rebounds. Everything else comes and goes. David Nwaba, Jason Tatum was out. David Nwaba came in, had 4 blocks. I don't think he would replicate that. And Eric Gordon still started. But the value, with everybody back, his value won't really be there. Amoni Brooks still come off the bench. He had 25 minutes, but let's not worry about him. I think he could also be a drop. And Şengün Play just 15 minutes. I mean, it's just hard to hold him. When you have Christian Wood there every night. Let's talk about the next game. The New York Knicks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Knicks, man. It's a great week for them, I suppose, even though the Wolves got everybody out. RJ, now he gets 24 minutes now, so I'm not even sure you want to stream this guy. Had 1 block and 4 turnovers here. Julius Randle, he has not been good. To me, he's a top 50 player, and the category he provides is very hard to find. Like I said, rebound, assist, and points. Right, the efficiency is an issue. He doesn't really get a lot of defensive stats, but defensive stats usually you could find them on the waiver wire. So, for example, if you trade Julius Randle for let's see, one of some trades that would make sense, who's like inside the top 50 right now. Desmond Bane, Bobby Portis. Those are the guys that do a 2-for-1. Desmond plus somebody. Try to see if you can get Julius Randle. It may not work because he was getting drafted in the second round. Desmond Bane was getting, those type. You try to do those type of trades. But yeah, Randle has not been good. He's actually fallen off a cliff, to be honest. He's 90th ranked player now. This is more of the Randle we used to know. Last season he was really, really good. This season he's fallen off in category leagues at least. But the counting stats are always there. The rebound, the assist. Well, only 2 assists here, but usually he'll get 5 assists and 20 points. Obviously a bad game. I would buy low. Maybe Franz Wagner is actually ranked ahead of him, 89th. Do a Franz Wagner plus, like a Desmond Bane, see if anybody bites. Mitchell Robinson, great. Lerner Noel is still out. So he played 32 minutes. Great stuff. Just 1 block. But alright, take it. 32 minutes. If you can, probably if you can get him for some good value, do it. Because when Lerner Noel comes back, they're going to split the minutes. And that's just what's going to be. And with Thibodeau, you just don't know the minutes. Other than you, unless you are Julius Randle, everybody's minutes is up and down. I guess unless you're Kemba Walker now, you get consistent 33 minutes. He didn't really do anything. Still a must roster. Things could change. If you can sell him for some good value, do a 2-for-1, I would. Because just like Alec Burks, who only got 16 minutes this game, Alec Burks was getting 38 minutes a night. And Kemba came in, had some nice games, and now Kemba getting 33 minutes a night. But it could all happen very quickly. If Kemba gets hurt, Alec Burks would start again. Who knows? Emmanuel quickly might get 30 minutes a night. Evan Fournier is not we don't have to roster him. He could be a drop. And Quentin Grimes got 31 minutes. So it's just another guy coming and start getting 30 minutes. We just don't know what the rotation is gonna be like. Alec Burks, I think he could be a drop now. I don't know. He could be a drop. It's been a couple of games where the minutes, Kemba was getting huge minutes and he wasn't. So I think we could move on from him. For the Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, those guys should be close. They could be back next game or end of week. They're kind of close. And obviously, Anthony Edwards is probably the closest he could really be back. Like, he's out of the protocol, but for condition reasons, he didn't play this game. Malik Beasley played 40 minutes. Before those guys come back, we could stream him for some points and threes. That's it. He took 16 threes. Didn't shoot the ball well. Jaden McDaniels played well. Great stuff. 1 steal and 5 blocks. This is really good stuff from Jaden McDaniels. Has an opportunity to take some shots. Have some playing time, but once Vanderbilt comes back, his minutes will be gone for sure. Nathan Knight. Naz Reid was back, but Nathan Knight was the one who got 25 minutes. And fouled out. I like Nathan Knight, but Cat could be back. What are you gonna do? Patrick Beverley came back. If he's out on the waiver wire, I would pick him up, see how things go. Just horrible efficiency. 0 for 8, 3 for 6, but 7 rebounds, 7 assists is pretty good, and a steal. He's a guy that could provide a lot of peripheral stats. Points, rebound, assists, steals. Doesn't really score much. But if he's out down the waiver wire, he could be getting 30 minutes a night when all the guys are back. So yeah, let's pick him up and see what happens. And Greg Monroe, 22 minutes. I think ESPN added him, but the earliest picked up date for him is like Friday. So you could just move on from him. Yeah, because by Friday, what the hell? Cat is back probably. Then why do we even need him? Let's talk about the next game, the Cleveland. Oh yeah, this game. Earlier yesterday, news came out. Darius Garland was placed into a safety protocol, so you think Ricky Rubio is gonna have a huge week, and he was having a good week until the knee injury happened. I didn't see what happened. From the news reading, he could be down for the season. So let's just wait and see what happens. But what a shame. Before he got hurt, look at the stats: 13 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 27 points, 3 threes, 4 for 4. Field goal is obviously an issue. It's been an issue with him all his career. But what a game he was having. And then he got hurt. What a shame. Yeah, that's fantasy for you. But even if he's not out for a season, he's gonna be out for a significant time. Let's say if he's out for 6 weeks, and even you have 2 IR spots, given the COVID things going on, you might also have to drop him. I don't know. Depending on how many guys you have out or in your position, he could be back, but he may not be the same. So not good stuff. So with him out, really nobody. Maybe Isaiah Okoro would get an extra bump, but he's not. A few more minutes doesn't really mean much for Isaiah Okoro. For him it's about getting the defensive stats. But in such a situation, we could stream him in some weeks, I suppose. Evan Mobley came back. Jared Allen's still out, but he's ready. I think Jared Allen is pretty close. 22 points, 7 rebounds for him. Great game. From Mobley. Lauren Markkanen, 14 points, 2 steals, 5 rebounds, and Lauren Markkanen he needs to be rostered, but just that top 100, like in the playoffs, he's a guy you could stream. Like the Cavaliers got 3 games, and he's not, and you need some assists and steals, or blocks, or some efficiency. You could move on. He provides some rebounds and some points, but everything else is not great. Who else is great? Kevin Love. I think with Ricky Rubio out, who knows? Kevin Love could get more minutes. I know they don't play the same position, but a lot of the times you just want to play your best players. And with one of your better players out, who knows? Kevin Love could get more minutes. We don't know. And the Cavaliers, they're not scared to experiment different lineups. He could put up Jared Allen, Laurie Markkanen, Evan Mobley, Kevin Love out there, and who knows? And have, I don't know, Laurie Markkanen guard the other team shooting guard. He's young. I guess, can chase people around. I don't know. But, I do know they're not afraid to create different lineups, try different lineups. But most likely they won't, because they need Isaiah Okoro to play on the perimeter defense. For the New Orleans Pelicans, everybody's out. They only have 2 games this week, so they have 1 game left this week. Herbert Jones went off. He could be a pickup in the short term, but again, they only have 1 more game this week, and you may not get anything out of him. Josh Hart. In the next game, Brandon Ingram will, could be back. But yeah, this team has a lot of usage. A lot of usage at the moment to grab. This game is Herbert Jones. Some nights it could be Devontae Graham, could be Valanciunas. Valanciunas came back from the protocol. Did not have the best game, but as long as Zion Williamson is out, he's going to be rock solid. Garrett Clark played 29 minutes. In the short term, maybe pick up Garrett Temple until at least until Josh Hart comes back. He could come in. He's been on all 30 teams at this point. By him playing 30 minutes, he could be in for a surprise. Who knows? He could have a 3 steal, 3 blocks, 20-point game. And let's move on to the next game. The Denver Nuggets beat the Golden State Warriors at Chase Center. That's hard to do for this Denver squad. They also missing Monty Morris. So Facu Campazzo came in. He's a really good assistant steals guy and some blocks. You know, and his blocks, we know how he got his blocks. He's a little short dude, so he strips. He started 32 minutes, but he's not gonna score points. 5 points, yeah, that's expected. But 7 assists, 2 steals, and block is useful. We could stream him if Monty Morris continues to be out for sure. Austin Rivers started, but he's not a great fantasy player. We could not move on. Jokic, 8 for 19. Warriors defensively, they're great. So I guess also Jokic in the last 2 weeks, his field goal has not been good. In the last 2 weeks, let's see where his ranking is. 30th. That doesn't really happen often to Jokic. Averaging 15 rebounds, but shooting 47%. And averaging 4.7 turnovers, yeah. So he's been turning the ball over a lot. He had 8 turnovers here versus the good defensive team. But to me, he's better than Steph Curry. He should be the number 1 player. So I would, do any trades, do a 1-for-1 to get Jokic. Doesn't matter who it is. And the thing is, like, the stats he provides is just so valuable, right? He doesn't make threes. That's fine. You can find threes on the waiver wire. But everything else is super, super good with great efficiency. Jeff Green, 20 minutes, yeah. I don't think we want to roster him. Give the man 30 minutes, he doesn't do anything. Will Barton had a great game. 21 points and steal in a block. He's inconsistent. He's going to be up and down. But the counting stats are usually solid. The efficiency are not very consistent. So you have those bad games from him occasionally. But he's a must roster. Aaron Gordon was also out. But nobody really got extra minutes. Bones Highland had 24 minutes. But nobody really from the Denver bench could... I think Campazzo is a guy in category leagues. If you need assistant steals and some blocks, he's pretty solid. But the rest of the guys, look at their stats. They're not really attractive. For the Warriors, they got Andrew Wiggins back. Played well right away. 32 minutes, 21 points, 2 steals and block. Wiggins is really finding his role on this team. Really, really good. I guess turn his career around. Because he used to be like a joke in fantasy. Well, his fantasy is still not great. He's still missing free throws, but providing solid enough numbers. Toscano Anderson started because Draymond Green was out this game. Jordan Poole should be back next game. But with Draymond out, I don't think anybody really would get that many minutes. Otto Porter Jr. was getting enough minutes, so there's really nobody that attractive to pick up, because then probably just a lot more things go through Steph Curry. But Curry struggled without Draymond, so they kind of need each other, to be honest. Draymond Green set up Curry for success. He only got off 16 shots, 14 threes. That's pretty wild. 23 4 and 4, not the best game from Curry. Gary Payton Jr., I think his time is up. But if you want to stream steals, even when Jordan Poole comes back, he could have 20 minutes, so maybe you could still have him. Like if you already got him this week and you need steals, you could hold on to him. Kevon Looney, 26 minutes. That's 25-30 minutes. He's just not putting up huge numbers. And this Warriors team, on paper, I gotta be honest, they don't look that great on paper, but they collectively they played great team defense, and they're waiting to get Clay back. And Jordan Poole could have a good second half as well. I know, like, he might come off the bench, lose some usage, but I think Clay, Curry, Jordan Poole, those 3 guys could carry the load offensively, and Andrew Wiggins, of course. Let's talk about the last game of the night. Oklahoma City Thunder losing to the Kings. For Thunder, I think just a couple of days ago, they had nobody in COVID. They just lost Josh Giddey. I wouldn't be surprised if more guys go into the protocol. So with Josh Giddey out, Lou Dort started at the point guard. He's not really a point guard. I need more playmaking up. Would go to Shea, and Shea's field goal has not been good all season, to be honest. Went to the free throw line 7 times. That's great. 33 points, no defensive stats. Other than the points, I guess the free throw, he did not have the best game. But Shea, to me, he's still like a top 35, 40 player. And if you pound a few categories, he could be that top 25, top 20 guy. If you pound in field goals, for example, I think he should move up in the rankings. And if he can get to the free throw line more, then that will help his value as well. Isaiah Roby started because Jermaine Robinson-Earl also out this game. So Isaiah Roby started just 21 minutes. I know Roby, if you give him 30 minutes, he's a pretty solid fantasy player. He can get rebound, he can get defensive stats. We're not there yet. Pokusevski, I think, was also out. Just like last year, this year Oklahoma City Thunder, like when we get to the second half, maybe somebody will get consistent 30 minutes, one of those big dudes. Jermaine Robinson-Earl was getting close to 30, but I think we all know he's just not great. If Isaiah Roby get 30, he'll put up some nice numbers. Or Pokusevski. But with them, you probably want to pound a few efficiency categories because they're just so bad efficiency-wise. Aaron Wiggins, 26 minutes. A student block, 14 points. Maybe if they keep starting Lou Dort at a point guard, we could stream Aaron Wiggins. Kendrick Williams also, with Giddy out, we could also stream him. He's a good fantasy player. He can get defensive stats. He can grab rebound. He can hit threes. So I like him. He got 28 minutes here. We could stream him for the rest of this week as well. Now, Theo Maledon, not really. This guy is... I would avoid him at all cost. And let's look at the Kings, the last team we're going to talk about. They got the win. Sure, great. I think Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, they just don't work well together. De'Aaron Fox is having a very disappointing year. A big reason is Tyrese Halliburton is good. They kind of eat into each other's production. One guy got 10 assists, the other guy got 8. Maybe they need to learn how to coexist. Tyrese Halliburton was having great couple weeks with De'Aaron Fox out. And this game, also great. 24 points and 10 assists. A steal and 2 blocks. Still great. 10 assists is great. Although Tyrese Halliburton was a minus 17 this game. Well, De'Aaron Fox was actually a positive, even though the stats, if you look at their stats, they don't reflect that. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox has been disappointing. I don't think he'll be, to be honest, get back to the level he was at last year. Just first couple games back from COVID, but I worry about De'Aaron Fox. Tyrese Halliburton also, I would say probably a sell high because De'Aaron Fox is not gonna sit there and let you take over every single game. So I would try to sell Tyrese Halliburton high if I can get a top 20, top 30 player, but top 40, top 50, who knows? He could be a top 40 player the rest of the way. He was a top 50 player last year, so unless you get a top 25, maybe top 30 player, and again, it depends on your team build, to do a trade that whatever makes sense to you. But Tyrese Halliburton could have a huge finish, is what I'm saying. Rashawn Holmes, 5 minutes, did not have the best game. Wasn't in some foul trouble, 4 fouls. But yeah, let's not drop him. He's a really, really good field goal anchor. So let's just wait for a few more games. And you could buy low from him, especially if your team needs some field goals and rebounds and a little bit blocks. He's not a big shot blocker, but solid enough. Marvin Bagley started, but he really just give you rebounds and nothing else. In category leagues, he's pretty horrible. In points leagues, sure, if he get consistent 30 minutes, he could be a double-double guy every single game. Harrison Barnes, 17 points and 1 assist. He's been falling off a cliff as well. He's going back to the old Harrison Barnes, just the points and some threes and nothing else. And Buddy Hield. Yeah, it's, I don't know, they got too many guards. And Davion Mitchell was out this game, and who knows, when Davion Mitchell comes back, who knows. Buddy Hield, is he going to get 25 minutes every single night? Some nights he gets 30. Some nights he gets 20. We don't know. I would sell Buddy Hield anytime he goes off. Just because the minutes, I mean, it's other than Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox, everybody's minutes is up and down. It could change from game to game. Chimezie Metu now is coming off the bench, so he's a drop everywhere. Terrence Davis, when given the minutes, is good, but yeah. That's it for all the games, guys. I will see you tomorrow.